Hey, this is Notser, and we're taking a look at the Tier 8 British destroyer, Lightning, on the map Haven. The build's on the screen. It is an interesting build. I skipped out on Inertia Fuse High Explosive and or Radiolocation. Instead, I got 4 level 3 skills. Reason being, Radiolocation is very usable, very enjoyable as a DD, but it doesn't really help me against battleships and cruisers. Inertia Fuse High Explosive for the Lightning is overkill because these are 120mm guns. Unlike the 114mm, it has plenty of penetration against DDs. So instead, what I chose to do is get Basic Firing Training, Demolition Expert, Survivability Expert, and Faster Torpedo Rearm. Because I chose to go all of those skills, torpedoes are up, I'm ready to go, I'm in position. Now, there are 5 enemy DDs, and sure enough, we run right into one who's trying to capture C Point, and also notice the 2 radar ships in the game, Baltimore and Chapayev. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. So I pop my smoke, you get 2 puffs from it, and now I get to wait. I use hydroacoustic defensively, and oh, of course they use radar. So I'm going to pull back, do as much damage as I can while pulling back, and hoping that the enemy has no interest in engaging me at all. Hydroacoustic was able to detect the enemy torpedoes. They were obviously sent directly at my smoke, which I bailed completely from. But it looks like we're cool. More torpedoes. So both enemy DDs have sent all their torpedoes, and they're clearly detected. We know they've sent all because the Shiratsuyu chose to use smoke. The only way that he would have that extra torpedo reload boost is dropping smoke. Maybe a year ago, but at this point, the nerf's gone through. You got to make that decision. It's not really fair, but it's the way the game's built right now. So, poor Shiratsuyu. I really miss the old version. Now, we know that there's an enemy capturing the base. Scoped out the German, Ernst. He would have to be outside of smoke in the capture. I don't think he's the culprit. I think it's actually the Monahan. So what I end up doing is I'm going to use my narrow spread. Thank you, Wargaming. And I sent it towards the eastern half of the smoke cloud, while moving forward and either attempting to engage a ship that maybe moves forward a little bit too brazen. But it also means that I moved forward a little bit too brazen. I try and gain a little bit of distance because 5.5 is the detectability, which is outstanding, obviously. And it looks like the torpedo's on target. He was talking to me, so it feels weird. On the one hand, I want to have a very open and honest communication between everyone in the game. I enjoy talking to all of you, but I also don't want you to be distracted to the point where you can't perform your role. It always, should I type, should I not? I don't want him to fail because of me. So I didn't want to add anything extra for him to look forward to until obviously it happened. It's always, maybe I'm beating myself up too much, but I don't want cheap kills. I don't want to have something, oh, look who it is. Oh, it's Notser. Let's ignore everything and die, right? It feels bad. Whatever. Headed over towards B point, ran into the enemy DD, which the friendlies were more than capable of taking out. So B point should be secured. You probably noticed that it was either a mutual destruction or it was a ram kill between those 2 DDs. I thought that was very intriguing. Like, okay, it's the beginning of the game. Throw your body at the enemy DD and die. I could have done that. Maybe I deserved it, considering there was a Baltimore and a Chapayev plus 2 Ds on that flank, but we got out, and I was able to capture B point for the team. So, the Lightning, 120mm guns. Playstyle, it's very fast and loose. The acceleration is outstanding. It maintains that speed. You can juke a lot easier with this type of acceleration versus any other DD in the game, honestly. So what I'm trying to look for is a window where I can fire my gun set a fire and or use my torpedoes. The turrets looked to be in a position where he could take torpedoes. The Ernst shows up at sea point. I don't really want to engage him and show myself. Instead, what I'm going to attempt to do is send my torpedoes at the enemy Colorado. Now, he looks to be going into my torpedo range, so when the torpedoes get to the target, they should make contact. That's the plan. Obviously, we'll see if that actually works out. In the meantime, I'm just going to inch my way over to the Ernst, make sure he's detected, fire on him. Notice that he dropped off, so yes, he is not firing his guns. All I'm merely doing is denying him the ability to capture. Torpedoes look pretty good against the Colorado. Not going to worry too much. There is a threat that the Ernst will send torpedoes, so when my hydroacoustic comes off of cooldown, I'm going to be using it. It doesn't have the range to obviously detect the enemy in his smoke. Because he's a German, he's going to have better hydro range than I do. It's just the nature of hydro. Now, my duration is insane, but his range is definitely better. So instead of pushing the envelope and going towards the enemy, I'm just looking for a single fire on each and every battleship in range. That's what I was looking to do. And yep, sure enough, here they come. And my smoke's gone, by the way. Both sets he sent. So I'm like, okay, this seems like a good opportunity. There is a New Mexico that also is on approach. If I can take out the enemy DD and deny the capture, well, maybe I can wait it out until my smoke charge comes off a cooldown, which it does. That's the one wonderful thing about... Oh, here we go. Enemy DD, both of us, mutual spot, out of his smoke, out of my smoke, going ham on the waterline, do a ton of damage. Absolutely, the Brits do a ton. And of course, he runs into the torpedo. But I know he sent all his torpedoes. I can pop my smoke and hide in it. That is what the British are really outstanding at. You always have the smoke tool available. And I really can't undersell this enough. Usually, you use smoke, enemy uses radar, it's a full counter. It resets, you've got to wait the full 2 or 3 minutes for smoke to come back. The Brits, however, use smoke. They can fire freely for 40 seconds-ish. That's enough time to set a couple fires, maybe send some torpedoes, and if radar is used, it only negates that one set of smoke. It doesn't negate a much longer duration smoke cloud, and it ends up encouraging a very quick engagement, disengagement. I was a little too far forward, admittedly, against the New Mexico, so I wanted to gain ground. And it absolutely was a little overextension. Enemy Baltimore's got my flank. I am a little afraid that he... Oh. Enemy New Mexico had 2 AP stick in the ship. I am a little afraid that the Baltimore would have radar and use it and detect me. But honestly, I think he would have used it if he had it available. So I'm going to send my torpedoes, which have a great recharge. Investing in these torpedoes, it's worth it. Their concealment is fantastic. Their speed is average. Their damage, very average. But it's basically point blank because of the concealment. I think it's like 1.1, 1.3, somewhere in that range. So don't snooze on these torpedoes. You can do a lot of damage with it. And so far, it looks like the New Mexico is indeed going into the clutches of my torpedoes. Ah, yes. Stop doing damage, please. I want to farm the damage. And we easily would have killed him, 100-0. I love the single torpedo launching mechanism. It feels great, and the concealment's outstanding. But enemy is unable to capture C point. Baltimore's moving off, maybe towards the base that I'm at. I'm going to head back over to C point. Looks like there's an enemy Fuso, enemy turrets. I would love to get torpedo strikes on those battleships. The Baltimore is really the only thing protecting them. If there is no radar 5.5 kilometers. It's outstanding. You get basically point blank on these battleships, and you have single launch torpedo. It's really outstanding. And you could kind of see a glimmer in the previous version, but without speed boost, with the super long smoke, with the wide spread on the torpedoes, it was really clunky. But they've really put together a very aggressive package. I feel like you can be aggressive. So I am absolutely at home playing these as a very, very tight hybrid where you've got your gun system, centerfire, you get in a range where your torpedoes are actually usable, well, you're going to be doing a ton of damage because you can pinpoint with the single launch. So got in, got a little bit of sea base capture, but notice the Fuso. He is rotating fast around this island, and that is far more important that I get this strike on the enemy Fuso than if I were to capture the base, in my opinion. So I send widespread. We're very close. Enemy Baltimore is very close too. So I was like, you know what? Gonna kind of slow down. Looks like friendly torpedoes will also get to the target. And he actually gets the kill, which, you know what? That's totally cool. Different strategy. I wanted to use the speed of the ship to get a little bit closer than to drop them in the water. I wasn't 100% confirmed that he would come through that gap. It was not a kill steal by either party. If I wasn't there, you know, maybe it takes a second set. If he wasn't there, maybe it takes a second set of me. So we were both gonna do tons of damage to the guy. I don't know that one set would 100-0 him, but it worked out, right? And enemy turrets, first salvo fire. I'm looking for a second fire. My torpedoes are almost off a cooldown, but I don't really know that that matters at this point, because clearly the game's close to being over and it's a stomp. But it was great to play the Lightning. It was great to bring out a commander skill build like that. Definitely enjoyed it. I just can't get over how much more enjoyable the entire experience is playing British DDs. I'm a destroyer main. I love them. I love the playstyle, and Wargaming, you absolutely have revitalized my interest in this line. Thank you. Tons of base XP, tons of damage, of course. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.